Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Leigh Weinraub with Mind in Motion.
Good morning, ISPA. I don't know about you guys, but I've had the song 100 Years streaming through my head for the last 24 hours. I love music because it fires up emotion, and emotion is what drives us oftentimes to do what we do. And I want to kick today off with starting with a few questions and some introspection. I adamantly believe, and when I go and speak, I always start with questions, because if I came up here and told you some tips, some techniques, some things that I've learned in my life, you might have some buy-in and you might practice it. But when I ask you questions and you have to look within, you're much more likely to have sustainable momentum and motivation. These questions I'm going to ask are big life questions, and I hope that you spend a lot more time than 10 seconds with me, and that you take these questions back home, you have conversations about them, and I'm going to give you guys a few seconds just to contemplate them. If you're someone who likes to write things down or put things in your phone, they're great questions, so hopefully they make you think. Starting with the first question. I want you all to imagine that right now you are having a conversation with the 100-year-old version of you. You are talking to that wise, wise soul. And that person gets to teach you one lesson in your life right now. What would they tell you? Is there anybody willing to share with a loud voice? What would your 100-year-old person tell you? I see a hand, yeah. Don't sweat the small stuff. I hear that one the most. A couple more. Slow down and patience. That's been a big theme. Yes. God is always right. A couple more. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. One more. More fun and be present. It's a big one in the spa world. Next question. When you were a kid, who inspired you and why? Next question. Wipe success and failure off the map and ask yourself what you truly believe is worth innovating. Next question. Time magazine calls you tonight and tells you that you have been selected as one of the world's most influential people, and they are going to be featuring you on the cover of their magazine. What would you want it to be for? And in my last 2-3 days when I've walked the floor, I've counted numerous serums that you can put on your face to make your face look better. What if I told you that I had a different kind of serum to offer you today? And it was totally free, and it would work on impact, and it would improve your health, your happiness, your productivity, your optimism, and maybe, just maybe, it could actually change the world. Would you want a dose of that serum? Well, hopefully I have a sample for you at the end of the talk today. About 10 years ago, after spending my entire life playing competitive tennis, and then going to graduate school to study very traditional psychology, I studied Freudian analysis at Northwestern. I was sitting in an office in Chicago on Michigan Avenue. It was a freezing cold day, and my client was telling the same story, and she was very stuck in her story. She was very anxious. I was catching it, because it's contagious. And I said, grab your coat, we're going for a walk. And literally, it was 10 degrees out. We were walking down Lake Michigan, and instantaneously, I knew that what I wanted to do, I knew my calling. I was going to be walking and talking as a therapist for the rest of my life. And I started a company called Mind in Motion, doing walk and talks. And a lot of athletes were coming to see me because they liked this sort of creative, active approach. And I remember the moment I read an article about a famous sports psychologist doing research. And the sports psychologist was going out with golfers and was giving golfers a one-word cue versus a sentence cue before they hit the ball. And when the golfers got the one-word cue, they performed 78 times better than the sentence cue. And so I went back and started integrating this into a lot of the work that I was doing with these one words. And one student in particular who had a lot of performance anxiety and would choke in big moments, she had a big match. And I took a marker and I wrote the word breathe upside down on her shirt. And I told her, stop looking over at me on the sidelines. You have the answers within you. They're actually fairly simple. Just look within and remember to cue yourself to just do that one word and let the results happen. Let the chips fall as they may. She won, and a lot of students started asking me to make them these upside down shirts with words. So I made like 100 shirts, and I called my father and I said, Dad, I think this is kind of a cool idea. I kind of want to do this. And he said, you didn't go to graduate school to study psychology to make t-shirts. So I kind of halted the idea. Years later, I was at Miraval giving one of my talks, and there was a woman in the audience who, after the talk, with tears in her eyes, made a beeline over to me and said, I was wearing a hoodie that I had made that said, move upside down. And she said, where did you get that? Because maybe, just maybe, if I'm sitting on the couch, I might get motivated to get up and move. And I took it off and I said, take this, go move more in your life, you can do it. Months later, she found me and she said, I think this is a really cool idea and I want to start a business with you. And I kind of laughed it off. Needless to say, she became my best friend and she is now my business partner, and we are now in a warehouse hang-tagging thousands and thousands of shirts. And it's been pretty cool. And the one-word mindset that I want to give to you guys today as what I believe to be a tangible takeaway of your experience here is gratitude. And I'm going to tell you why I choose that word. Having fortunately been able to work with very successful people and studying successful people, not just measured by their pocketbooks, but success in all realms. Successful people have 3 traits: show up more often than other people. Starting with the first trait, they are more optimistic. They are able to find the light in the eyes of darkness. And because they have higher degrees of optimistic thoughts, they drive the second pillar to succeeding, which is that they persevere. They show up and they show up and they keep showing up. And because of that, they drive the third pillar to success, which is opportunism. They have created an opportunity and they take them. So optimism drives perseverance. Perseverance drives opportunity. And optimism is the hardest part, and it's the most important because it drives the others. Newsflash, all of our brains universally are designed in ways that think negatively. Our language has double the number of negative words to positive words. We are professionals at catastrophizing things. I could tell you 9 amazing things about you, and I'll give you one little thing to work on, and you will likely lose sleep over the one little thing that I tell you. So I would advocate for all of you that it is a skill to learn how to argue your own brain and cross-examine your own irrational distortions, because we all do it. But I would argue that the most successful people, if you interview them, you'll see that they recognize that they cannot just do it alone. They don't just argue themselves. They have key relationships in their life. They have important connections and love. And these people in their lives are helping them argue their distorted, irrational self-doubt. And they nurture those relationships. Oftentimes, relationships get underappreciated, under-recognized. We forget to thank those people. And I would advocate all of you to pay closer attention to those relationships and make sure that you express your gratitude to those people in your life, because maybe, just that one concrete action of expressing gratitude will be the thing that drives your optimism fuel to create the kind of success and innovation that you are all craving. And I today want to do a gratitude meditation with you. You're all in the SPA community, so I'm sure you're very familiar with meditating and how hard it is. This might be a more fun, simple way of meditating. We're going to do a gratitude meditation. All of you have a postcard that was hopefully placed on your seat. You can take it out. And up on the screen is a manifesto that I wrote to the important people in my life to thank them. It's a gratitude manifesto. It's on your postcard. If you're a high-tech person and you'd rather do it online, which is awesome, go to getyourmindinmotion.com/gratitude. You can download the image and send it off to as many people as you want to read this. And I'm going to play one of my favorite songs as all of you hopefully take this 2 minutes to thank people in your lives for what they have done for you. And I want to personally give a shot of gratitude to Karen Katz, who was the person who found me at Miraval that day for arguing all of my crazy voices and lots of demons. Thank you. And we can play the music. Start the movement of gratitude right now in this room. You have no idea how widespread an impact you can have starting right now. Take the time to do it.
To be humble, to be kind, it is a giving of the peace in your mind. To a stranger, to a friend, to give in such a way that has no end. We are love, we are one, we are how we treat each other when the day is done. We are peace, we are war, we are how we treat each other and nothing more. And to be bold, to be brave, it is the thinking that the heart can still be saved. And the darkness can come quick, the dangers in the anger and in the hanging on to it. We are love, we are one, we are how we treat each other when the day is done. We are peace, we are war, we are how we treat each other, nothing more. And tell me what it is that you see, a world that's full of endless possibilities.
Thank you guys so much. By the way, I did see a lot of tears. I don't know if you guys know this, but your tears are largely made up of cortisol. So when you cry, you're getting stress out. This is a good thing. Let it come out. Thank you, ISPA. Have an amazing day.